which is a joke. That's what I mean a minute ago, how stupid they are, because they scream something and all they do is shine the light on their own crimes. Because through looking at, looking for this Russian collusion with Trump, they found the collusion with Hillary, with, and Obama and their people selling uranium to the Russians, And then, of course, they try to lie about it. Oh, well, it's no good. The uranium's crap. It's like, Russia ain't going to buy crap. I mean, this is part of that don't use your brain part. Believe every lie you can and push it and just make the lie as big as you could possible. So eventually we do have World War III, and when we do, they're going to try to claim innocence. They're like, well, it's not our fault. It's those guys over there who've been trying not to do it. It's their fault that it happened, But there again, I mean, I'll say this to no end. All they have to do is get enough people stupid enough to fall for it, and they get it done. It's like the old term Karl Marx said, they're useful idiots. Go look for the people that don't have that much in common sense, don't think really. As soon as you tell them something, they're just like, oh yeah, where's my pitchfork? And anyways, that's the deal. So to get back to the deal with this Syrian bombing, also I want to cover the Constitution thing about, our Constitution does say that, an actual war has to be approved by, Congress. But after 9/11, they passed what they had to pass in the War Powers Act. They gave the president pretty much the power to go to war himself. So we don't have another 9/11 because we have like this total, absolute corrupt government, Congress and Senate, that think nothing should happen in the universe other than every dollar we make goes to them in taxes. And they're not supposed to do nothing but screw off with it and create every type of underground, undercover BS organization thing they can to just keep taking more and more of our money. I mean, all you have to do is look at pay wages compared to cost of living. 30 years ago, guys that are pretty much the most important people on the planet, in a sense, those that build everything for everybody. Build all the buildings that everybody lives in and works in, and the roads that everybody drives on and all that. They could buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, support a family on 40 hours a week, got a couple weeks vacation, and had health care. I mean, that was normal 30 years ago or so. Now, all the guys that do that, they can't afford a house. In fact, they can't even afford an apartment. They're like living in like ghetto housing or government subsidized housing. They can't even get a trailer. If they were to, I've looked into this, if they'd even try to go apply to buy a trailer to live in, not even a double wide. I mean, that's like living big if one of them can afford a double wide. These are the people that build this freaking country. And they can't afford a house, or they can't even afford a trailer. There is this one thing about the Democrats, where it's funny how they talk of 18 different sides of their face, where they're like, well, this 1.001% is getting all the money. Yeah, well, it's their people. George Soros, what's the other? Can't even remember the freaking names. Anyways, you name off their all biggest donors. There's Soros, there's the head guy of Microsoft. For some reason, I can't even think of his name right now. But, of course, that is your 0.011 or 0.00001% that's getting all the money. And look what they're doing. They're fighting because they sold their souls. So they're doing what Lucifer tells them. And they're spending every dime they got on overthrowing this world for Lucifer. They know their end's coming. But right now, they're having the time of their life. And they're just those kind of people. They're like Ted Bundy with a brand new dead body. Laughing their ass off, dancing around naked. As giddy as could be, rolling on the ground, laughing. They know they're going to hell. They know the second they die, they're going to hell. But they're just having the time of their life right now. Or they were, at least, when Obama was in. Now that Trump's in, they're freaking out. Because Satan's telling them, if you don't, do what I told you to do, what I need you to do, I'll just take you into hell right now. And that's why they're freaking out like they are. And they're just going to make every single thing that Trump does wrong. Like I said, if he combs his hair, no matter how he ties his shoe, they're just going to, he tied his right shoe first. He's destroying everything. The democracy in this country's ruined, And, of course, the retards out there watching CNN and MSNBC are like, yeah, someone stop him. Don't let him tie another shoe. It's all going to die. It's just unbelievable how so many people fight with everything they have to be retards. So the president has the power to do something like this and even go to war. He's the commander-in-chief. There again, they haven't flipped that law back, and if they did, no one, Trump wouldn't sign it. The War Powers Act. They're trying to twist the words of the War Powers Act now, saying, well, it doesn't really mean that. No, read it. It does say that. Bernie Sanders and all them. He's trying to act like this is like 1751, or sometime even before the Constitution was wrote. But that's what they do. They just lie to no end about everything and expect the American people to just follow. Don't even look up and don't even make sure. But the Syrian strike was a spanking, to basically, it's a UN law, which I think it's American law too, that if any country uses chemical weapons on its own people, that we could do whatever's needed about it. Even full on go to war with that country. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's been a long time since I read it. I just remember when I read it, I'm like, whoa, we could full on do it, especially now. And if it was illegal, they're going to try to make it's like Russian collusion. They're going to make it sound like it's illegal in every way they can. They won't charge them because they know it's not illegal because they wrote the law. Congress wrote the law, passed it, went to the Senate because this is right after 9/11, and it went right to Bush, and he signed it. It was like bam, 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 within a day or three. That thing was law because he needed that first to just go. Bush was nice and went back and asked him about Iraq, and they were just like, yeah, let's go. Then afterwards they tried denying it because they're like, if Bush succeeds, we're out of office forever because we've been making sure Obama or Bin Laden gets away with murdering all the people he wants and nothing happens to him. But now if Bush succeeds and takes them out and does this and does that, which they did everything they could to make sure Bush didn't get Bin Laden. Just the crap they pulled in. It's this. I don't have enough time here. All the stuff they just kept throwing in to try to stop him, to keep him from getting Bin Laden. Because I knew if he got Bin Laden, Bush would be, I don't know, they might have made him king or something. They were just terrified because, like I said, but it's what Democrats have always done. When Carter was in, Carlos the Jackal, the first real terrorist, was running around killing everybody, all the Europeans and Americans he could. We almost killed him, and France finally got him. But when Reagan got in office, Reagan sent over the Marines over there to track him down, and Joe Biden, told the terrorists, if you guys send somebody in with a truck loaded with bombs and kill a bunch of our guys, like blow up the barracks or somewhere where they are, we'll leave. I promise you, we will leave. And then you could kill whoever you want, you can do whatever you want. And this is Carlos the Jackal. And sure enough, that's what happened. There's a movie on it. It's called The Assignment. It's the original movie, not the new one, because there again, Hollywood's full of Satanists and they're trying to get rid of the proof. They're always trying to change history or make it about something completely different. The new one, that I don't even remember who's in it, but it's not the same one with Bruce Willis, I think, and somebody else. But the original one had Donald Sutherland in it, and it's a true story about how we had a guy in our Navy that looked identical to Carlos the Jackal, and how they sent him over there to get him. And from there, you have to see the movie. You can see it in Europe. Europe still has it. In America, you can't find it. It's like they've totally erased it from history, and you just can't get it. But back then, Carlos the Jackal was just as big as Bin Laden, was when Bin Laden was big. Because one thing that Carlos the Jackal did is there was a huge meeting of world leaders somewhere over, last side of the world, over in Europe, and his guys busted into the building, shot everybody up, and killed all the world leaders at the time. There again, because that's satanic, because it's a pro-Satan thing, what Satan wants. The media and all them are covering it up because they're satanic. You have to change your way of thinking that this world is not like you. Satan thinks in a total opposite, complete opposite way. Everything that is actually is evil is right and good and great to them. And, because I hear people all the time, but Obama wouldn't do that. That's not good. It's like, go, it's like they have to be in hell before they pull their head out. Satan has to be turning them to shreds in hell before they go, what? What's going on? What? They don't even want to ask what until it's hella too late. And that's what the deal is. So Biden tells the terrorists, hey, if you guys get someone in there to kill a bunch of our guys, we'll leave, and they do it. This is known in Beirut in 1983. Some crazy ass Muslim busted through they had was a fence up, so someone couldn't climb over. But of course that's not going to stop a semi truck. Truck just comes and blasts through, drives right into the barracks, blows the barracks up, kills up like 240 plus of our guys, and I don't know how many of the French. We had a bunch of French with us, and other Marines from other countries. Just killed a crap load. And then the Democrats start saying, "Look what you did, Reagan! Look what you did! It's your fault! You got to pull him home! You got to pull him home!" And they terrorized him until he did it. He gave in. He gave in and brought him home. And then Biden told him, "If you try to start a war or do anything about this, we'll impeach you for trying to start an illegal war, because that's a country that's not about to attack us. We're not threatened by them, even though they just killed 240 plus Marines of ours." The Democrats' thing is, well, it's illegal anyways. They weren't supposed to be there. They're always fighting for evil. Even though Carlos the Jackal had already had his guys over killing people all over the world, all sorts of Americans and Europeans, and actually that one meeting where all these world leaders were, and his people broke in and killed them all, murdered them all. The Democrats are all like, well, so what? So what? That didn't happen to you. It didn't happen to you, so you can't do nothing. Like, you have to be dead before you can do something about this stuff. And that's how they always are. That's what they do with Bin Laden. Bin Laden's running around murdering everybody they can. They're like coming with every reason they can to make sure nobody does nothing to Bin Laden. Of course, that was Clinton, as president. We had CIA and FBI guys all over the place looking for both Saddam, because Saddam had turned on us. He was paying people 25 grand a piece for killing an American. If you killed an American, Saddam would pay you 25 grand, which over there, that's serious money, because their money compared to ours is, nothing compared to ours. So it's like 100 grand or something, or I don't know what, just this massive number. And, we had CIA guys. There's mainly one guy, Robert Byrd. He's the main guy who's done books and documentaries and vids on it. He's like, I had them both, and Clinton had me arrested. Clinton told me, you better come home right now. We're going to fire you for one, and we're going to charge you for trying to start an illegal war. Bin Laden's running around murdering people all over the place, Americans all over the place. Clinton is like, no, you come home right now, or we're going to arrest you for having an illegal war, for trying to start an illegal war. You have to think about this. Anything that is evil, they love, and they support, and fight for. And if you try to stop it, well, they're going to do anything and everything they can to put you out, to take you out, unless they can't. I mean, you look at these people that they've taken out. You type on the internet, Hillary Clinton's body count. Look at how many people that have worked with the Clintons that have just all of a sudden turned up dead. Same with, what else was I going to say? Guys, I don't know. I just had it run in my head before I said that. I don't know, it might come back to me. But you look at, Obama running guns to the cartels. Last I heard, and I know it's way above this now, and this is like years ago, I heard 50,000 were dead from those guns. That's evil. The cartels run around blasting everybody with those guns, using American military guns. That is hardcore evil. But the Democrats love it. And they'll fight with all they have to cover for him to make sure he doesn't even get questioned about it, let alone pay for it. Extortion 17, where he set up a plane full, one of those huge cargo planes full of Navy SEALs, told them that they had to fly at this super low altitude, that they had to. Look, I told you, I'm the commander-in-chief, you fly at this altitude or, whatever. So their pilots went ahead and flew, basically just made themselves sit in ducks. And Taliban sitting right there at a certain spot. They just flew right into it. They launched a couple RPGs, brought the plane down, killed them all. And Obama's like, hey, I'm dictator-in-chief. I can have any Americans I want murdered. I'm the king. If I want to have people yanked in front of the White House and have their heads chopped off in front of the White House, I should be able to do that. Who the hell do you think you are? You voted me into power. You voted me into office. That's basically, bottom line what he said. When he first got asked about Extortion 17, he's like, hey, look, it was just an accident. It was like, well, no, we're getting told that you commanded that plane to fly at such a low height that there's no way they can miss shooting an RPG. Well, we were actually working on something. Yeah, what was that? Well, I can't tell you. That's double top secret. We were just, all the proof points to, or actually doesn't point to it, proves that Obama commanded that plane to fly a certain route at super low altitude to make sure they got blown up and killed. That it wouldn't be a missed thing. That he set them up to be murdered. And to the Democrats, that's great. You don't hear one Democrat questioning that or saying anything about that, right? Not one of them saying, you know what, this extortion 17 thing, that was against American people, that was murdering American citizens. In one sentence, the Democrats will say, oh, we really stand with our military, and yada, yada, yada. But then, like when the Iraq-Afghanistan war was going on, they nagged Bush until finally he went ahead and signed a law that said that our guys couldn't shoot at the terrorists until there was a bullet in the air coming at them first. A bullet had to be coming in the air at them first. Then they were allowed to shoot back. You know how many guys we lost because of that? I mean, during Obama's term, we lost so many more military people than we lost under Bush. And Bush fought the war and won. He already toppled those countries. But yet somehow, after we had already won, and we're in like sort of this babysitting mode, is what we're in, Obama gets more killed. Now, how many of those missions do you think he sent people out on to be slaughtered? Where he commanded, because all the generals said the same thing, that Obama was in there pushing people out of the way. No, I want this to happen. No, I want this. No, I want that. He was making sure as many Americans as possible were getting murdered to try to bring this country down. There again, there's guaranteed there's going to be somebody watching this that's going to be like, no way, Obama wouldn't do that. And either they're totally ignorant, just completely beyond retardation ignorant, or they're Satanists themselves, and they're fighting to cover it up. It's one or the other. And either way, you're going to hell. The second you die, you're ending up in hell. You can't claim on Judgment Day, but I'm too stupid. But I fought with everything I had to be a retard. I don't want to hear the truth. And all I want to do is fight for whatever lie that sounds good to me. You think you're going to make it? On Judgment Day because of that? The main verse that comes to mind there, if you want to know God's take on it, is Revelations chapter 21, verse 8, where it says, just anybody like that, the whoremonger, the liar, the thief, all those that deny with all they have, whatever, they're going to have their place in the lake of fire. That's going to be their eternal home. So, yeah, I think that's probably about it. Trump doing this wasn't even an act of war, legitimately. You have to think legitimately. You can't run around and say, well, the UN said this, or this piece of crap person over there said that, or there's idiot that doesn't ever really think said, oh, really, do you worship them? Do you follow every single word they say? I mean, every time they say something, you're like, you got a shrine with their face and picture on it? That's another thing, how Democrats pick and choose. Oh, this person said this, but last week they were like, that person needs to be taken out. Look what they did and said. They act like every time somebody says something that's totally evil that they love, they act like they're the Messiah. But then, a week before or after, they're like, oh, that person needs to go. So I guess they just prove themselves to be freaking total hypocrites that lie in any way, in every way they can. But then again, look, CNN and MSNBC are in business. They're still alive. It's like, how does that happen without there being that many people that are either totally evil or so freaking ignorant? It's unbelievable. They fight to be ignorant. So that's pretty much the bottom line. That Assad carried out this attack. For anybody to say that somebody else did it, we would definitely know if there was some terrorist organization that had a chemical plant somewhere, had the chemists and everything to create this stuff, because we saw the pictures of the women and the kids, dead on the ground, and nobody out there, even on their side, is saying it didn't happen. Russia's not saying, no, it didn't happen. No, this is like a video from another attack that happened forever ago. This is something else. No, they know they can't deny it. We got satellites everywhere. I can see all the way to the ground and see it. So they're trying to find some way to cover it up, but they know they can't. Otherwise they would have. They've already said, no, it didn't happen. And that's not what they did. Russia's trying to use the UN, as well, it's illegal to do anything about it. Trying to be like the Democrats, lie their ass off, trying to make sure evil always happens. And, Nothing ever gets done about it. But that's a whole other subject, why Russia is even backing this Assad. I guess probably because they saw if they take him out, they're going to be fighting the whole Middle East. So they're trying to use him as a proxy. I guess like how the mob had that Rothstein or whatever guy be the front guy in Vegas forever. I mean, the mob knew. We couldn't come out and say, hey, look, we're the mob and we own all this and we're running it and it's ours and we're taking the money. No, they had to have a front guy. So that's like what Russia's doing with Assad. They're using him saying, oh, look, we're buddies with your Muslims now, you know, and we're standing behind Assad. The whole thing's totally freaking retarded, but whatever. It's what they do. Their greed is so massive they can't control themselves. And that's about it. Trump's not going to send no mass military over there. We have advisors over there now, you know, telling their terrorists, or not the terrorists, the rebels, like what to do, how to fight, and how to, because Assad does need to go, but only if we could get a legitimate form of government in there, you know, to run it all right. And that's the problem, because with Islam, you just can't run anything right. Islam is Satanism. So, you know, there again, Satan telling you, you know, look, the very best thing you could do, look, I'm your best friend. I'm your very, very best friend, okay? Okay, just believe that. Just believe that I really am your very, very best friend. Now, the very best thing for you to do is to sign everything you have over to me, cover yourself in gasoline, light yourself on fire. I promise this will be great. I promise. This will work out. You won't even believe how great this will be. This will just be, you know, the best thing ever. Just believe me, you know. And those stupid enough to fall for it, you know, you get what you deserve. Look at Venezuela. And actually every other country that's fallen for it. You know, Soviet Union, look what they got themselves into, believing that crap. That kind of crap. And actually look at what Islam has gotten themselves into, believing that from Muhammad. You know, Muhammad comes out and says, I'm a prophet, let's start butchering and raping everybody. You know. Okay. You know. It's like, no common sense. Okay, and that's about all I could say. Just, it's sad when, you know, the two guys that are like the most on, at least on the most serious stuff, the heaviest stuff, Savage and Michael Jones or Alex Jones, are just, they don't know. They don't get it. You know, they think Trump is full on setting up, going to war, that he's being controlled right now. And I don't see it. I see Trump saying, look, this guy used chemical weapons on his own people, and we just got to do something about it. You know, we can't let that go, because if we let that go, what's next? I mean, he's gonna freaking chemical waste the whole rest of the country, and then how are we gonna be able to say you can't do that if some other dictator does it? You know, they're gonna be like, oh, well, you let Assad do it. You know, how come you only got a problem with us and not Assad? And there is a right side to this. I was against it originally, and I wrote Trump about it, like I said. But once it happened, I was like, okay, well, this is like, I don't know, the best thing I can think of is, you know, the movie Seven, you know, for those that have seen it, where they just went through this shootout with, you know, Kevin Spacey, tried to track him down, and they don't get him. They go back to the, you know, room where he lives. And, I can't remember his name now either. The other actor, not Brad Pitt, the black guy, he's a great actor. It'll come to me in a minute. He's like telling Brad Pitt, we can't go in here. We can't do anything. You know, the way we got here is illegal. You know, which this isn't the part that relates to Trump. But anyways, he tries talking Brad Pitt out of trying to bust into the room, and Brad Pitt says, okay, you know, I get it. You know, you're right, yada, 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 and he steps away. Morgan Freeman, that's his name. You know, he steps away, and Brad Pitt just kicks the door open. And he's like, well, no reason arguing about it now. And that point right there is like what I thought when, after I heard the strike happen, that Trump went ahead and did it. I thought, okay, well, no reason to argue about it now. Now, what's the upside of this? Because I don't even think these other people, the people that are against Trump doing this, have thought of the upside. You know, all they're thinking is, we're going to war again, we're going to send our troops over there, it's going to be a bloodbath, we're going to lose thousands and thousands more, and they're worried about prophecy too, because that's the part of the world that World War III is supposed to start in, with Gog and Magog, which is some guy that God calls Gog, and Magog being his army, which everyone thinks is Russia now. Putin being Gog and Magog being his army, but whatever. So they're terrified of that. But I don't see Trump doing it. I don't see anybody having, videotapes of him with, a bunch of farm animal dogs, and Trump being worried about Melania finding out, and the stuff they're thinking. Like, they must really have something on him, something way worse than what we found out already. And he's so scared about them releasing that to the public that, he just went ahead and bombed Syria to do what they want. But that isn't even doing what they want. Well, there again, that doesn't even fit either. I don't see any military general saying, you know what, we just have to run into Syria, full-scale war. Let's just go. That's retarded in itself. If any generals are saying anything, they're saying, look, this is UN law and it's American law. He did it. No one's going to take care of it or do anything about it but us. So we got to do something, because down the road, who knows what the hell. We don't want to wait until Syria has a nuke, like Pakistan or Iran. And then we got another major country, because right now, Syria's toward hell. But in 10, 20 years, we don't know. 10, 20 years, they could be back, and, it'd be strong. It'd be strong and be a problem. So there's a whole bunch of things we need to make sure about, because we totally missed the bullet on Pakistan and, now Iran getting nukes, because they both have vowed if they get nukes, they're going to take out Israel. And you could bet your ass the second they move on Israel, we're gonna know what World War III really looks like then, because it's gonna be on. That's all I'll say, because unless you know prophecy and the last days what it says and everything that's been going on already, Israel isn't gonna just let themselves be taken out. Israel's gonna unleash, and it's gonna be gas and oil is gonna go through the roof, $50 a gallon, whatever. You're going to find out what's really, going on then, and you just don't want to find out when it's too late, like on 9/11. Okay, well, I think the only way I can say anything more is if I just repeat myself. So I think that's about it. No, this wasn't an act of war, like we're going to war, setting up for war. This was punishing Assad for what he did. It was a spanking, It pretty much is all it was, and. Those that are freaking out like they are just need to think. Get a huge chalkboard and write down what they think it is, what it could be, what the opposite side is, and put all the, facts, think about it, that, look, if this wasn't Assad that did this, then who? If they want to hurry up and say, well, it was Russia. Okay, why? Why would Russia do that? Why would Russia run into, somehow launch a bunch of chemical weapons against, the rebels in Syria? What's Russia going to get out of that, or what's their purpose? And whenever you can't answer the question, you can't even come up with an answer, even like a half-assed one, well then, more than likely, that's not what's up. Assad's sick of fighting this war. He's been fighting it. Rebels keep coming in from all over. He wants to hurry up and finish it. Just hurry up and take over full-on control of his country again. And he's already done it. He's already used chemical weapons on his people, which I think we struck him for then as well. NATO did, and us. After we researched that, I can't remember the time frame. But I think that was that mother of all bombs thing. That's what happened. That's when we launched that mother of all bombs, was for that. So we already know that that's what he would do, because he's already done it. And that's about it. The terrorists don't have no secret chemical plant anywhere. They don't have any way of getting a hold of any. Besides, why would they launch it on themselves? On the people themselves. They got to figure that if we didn't take Assad out the last time he used chemical weapons, that we probably aren't going to take him out this time. And then besides the fact that Russia's there, that's a whole other thing. I don't know how they think the rebels think they're going to take out Assad and then force Russia out, unless they're thinking like Afghanistan, like how they forced Russia out in Afghanistan. I don't know. It's common sense. You just have to think of all sides and put the sides together that fit, and that's about it. All right, till next time.